Well, there you go. Implicated coaches were allowed to remain in the camp. How many coaches are we talking about here?
I don't know.
At least 3.
At least 3 coaches for the 5 athletes.
For the 5 athletes.
Grace, the J3s made a fool of themselves, he said. You are part of the J3?
I am. I'm the first vice president J3. You know, we have conflicting information coming through because I share with you, Doc is sitting beside me and I'm listening to the news the same way everyone is. And you hear one time it's a banned substance, one time you hear it's not. As far as the information goes out, it's not on the ban list. Now, if it's not on the ban list, it's not on the ban list. It can't be something they can't. As far as I'm concerned, the IAAF cannot have a book out that says these are the things that are banned, but we're not putting some. But you know, you need to know the chemical component, and the one that's not there, it still will be implied. I don't know if as an athlete that can be implied, but this is what Doc has been saying, that it has similar components, although it is not on the list and it is implied. I'm not sure I don't show the details of what came out of the test, and I'm really not au fait in terms of the chemical components.
All right, so you're not in a position to answer that one.
Yeah,
he also made another point. I'm not sure if you're in a position to answer that either, about a substandard camp.
I'm not in a position because I don't know what went on there. I mean, I don't know. I had nothing to do with the preparation of the camp. This is what they said in the beginning. It is substandard, and I think he made that clear for his athletes, because what his standards are, this might be substandard. He doesn't care who else wants to go there, but this is substandard for him.
Does that translate into the camp being a substandard camp period, or no?
No, I don't necessarily think so. Maybe what his standards are. You know, people have different standards. What his standards are, he says, well, I'm not going to do anything below this. And in his dispensation, this is below what he is not going to do.
Right.
Whether
So
it is
Stephen, it's a relative concept here. Stephen has set a standard of 97% as a standard for the camp that he would like to have his athletes in. The camp in Nuremberg may have been at 94%, which may be a great score, but it's still substandard to 97, which is the standard and the access to facilities that were available in Italy.
All right, we're not finished with you yet, folks. We're going to go for a break just before that.
And, you know, we just heard Stephen a while ago, Stephen Francis, which I concur as the best coach in the world overall, and no doubt about that. I will say that without hesitation. However, I bring this up because of the fact that I want to see the workings of the federation and the coaches, the top coaches, the top technicians, the athletes, administrators, everybody working together, so that, you know, as I always say, in 10 years, we are not back to where we were 10 years ago or 15 years ago. It's important that they work, even if they don't like each other, they must work together. I bring in evidence here Russia, for example. In 2003 and 2005, the Russians had 7 gold medals and 20 medals, right? They were second only to the Americans. Now they are down to 13 and in 4th position. That means they are coming down fairly dramatically. While we, in 2003, we had an average 6 and 8. In 2003, we had 6 medals, and in 2005, we had 8 medals, 1 gold medal between those two. That means an average of 7 with only 1 gold medal. That's Jamaica. And now we are looking at 13 medals with 7 gold medals. That means we have moved up dramatically. So therefore, in 4 or 5 years, things can change right around where we are getting 13 now, but we can come back down to 3 and 4. We don't want that. We need to, all the administrators, everybody, all the stakeholders to get together and work as one, work as a team, so that we can move up or at least stay where we are. That's my take.
What will you remember, Grace, when you sit back and start to think about Berlin in 2009?
Lots of things. There are lots of things to remember. I think Bridget will come to mind first. Somehow Bridget's performance was very striking to me in terms of what she's done. And I think I have a particular feeling about that because when Bridget was at the Commonwealth Games back in 1998, I remembered her reaction to, you know, her performance and how she felt at that time. And I've been just watching that over the time, and it's been such a long time. So that had some distinct feeling. But I think also the 100 meters for women, and it's not because I'm looking at it from a gender point of view. The 100 meters for women, seeing Caron and Shelly-Ann again with the repeat was particularly interesting, which I will remember. The times that they ran with, you know, has stuck in my mind. Melaine's run was also instrumental because of what was happening for her during the year. But the things that made my heart really beat fast before the races were really Usain's races. Usain's, and I say Usain, not the 100 meters, I really should say the 100 meters for men, made me very nervous before the start of the race. Both the 100 and the 200, the 200 a little less so. But just really not knowing what he was really going to do just somehow created a bit of nerves within me as I waited to see what he was going to do. So those were striking things that happened. But I just want to take the opportunity to also say we're really forgetting a lot of the persons that competed that did not have the same impact on us, like the jumpers, for instance, who went in and did their thing, but, you know, getting an opportunity to face what it is really like, international competition, and will really motivate them to being the best they can be, being with a team that the sprinters have dominated, not just for the team, but for the world. And they wanting to get a piece of that and what they will come out of these championships with. Right? And people like Lacina Golding, who has been there, made some finals, and still hungry to go on. Persons like herself, Isa Phillips, who thought he was really going to be there in the finals, made changes and didn't make it. Persons like those. And those who sat along the side that didn't actually get on the track, but would have loved to get on the track. They play an important part in making up the team for those who actually got medals as well.
Dr. Paul.
First thing that I'm going to remember about Berlin 2009 is how over these 9 days, Bertis, I could go through the whole gamut of emotions, from disgust and embarrassment to the height of exhilaration. Disgust and embarrassment at the manifestation of real incompetence by the management team over there in Berlin. They embarrassed me as a Jamaican, and they embarrassed us in front of the world. If it was not for an African, the president of the IAAF, we would not have had any of the success which we have had now, because those 6 athletes would have been expelled from the village by police escort or security guard escort. That's a low. The high for me, Shelly-Ann Fraser, when she realized, when she was touched in the back by Karen Stewart at the end of the 100-meter race, she opened her eyes and she realized that if Karen is touching her in her back, she must have won. And that, to me, was a remarkable look on somebody's face. The look on the face of Bridget Foster when she realized, finally, having been told by the Canadian Schlepp that she had won, and dismissing her, that she had won, the joy in her face when she went to the ground and knelt, and I thought kissed the ground, and then the other Delorine coming up and hugging her. That is what I want. And finally, Dwight Bigger Thomas answering the call of Jamaica. I hear people talking about, I'm injured and I can't run this, and I'm injured and I don't want to run that. He was injured. He was a medal prospect in the hurdles, and he came last because he felt pain. And when asked to help us to qualify for the finals, he ran through his pain and qualified us. Got an award from Bruce James. Won't get any more awards. But Bigger Thomas, that is my man for the championships.
Bruce.
What I'm going to remember of Berlin is that Beijing was not a fluke. A lot of people felt that Beijing was the ultimate, that we had arrived when we got 11 medals in Beijing. We got 13 medals in Berlin, and we got, more importantly, 7 medals, and there are 5 medals that are going to stick with me, and those are the 5 individual medals. Why? Because individual gold medals at the World Championship are more valuable than individual gold medals anywhere else. Jamaica we have now earned the right to have 4 competitors in the men's 100 meters at the next World Championship, 4 men in the 200 meters at the next World Championship, 4 women in the 100 meters at the next World Championship, 4 women in the 400-meter hurdles at the next World Championship, and importantly, 4 women in the 100-meter hurdles at the next World Championship. Jamaica, we are now really and truly in the golden age of our track and field dynasty. We're second in the world by any measure. If you check it by the number of medals, if you check it by the number of gold medals, Jamaica, Berlin has confirmed that Beijing was not a fluke. We have really arrived in track and field.